You recording? Okay, good. This is Chuckline 101. I've probably looked over what you need to know or assumed that you know too much, including how to use one of these tools. These are probably top 6 essential on a construction carpentry job site for framing and more importantly for sheeting, putting down sheeting and use it a lot. Just a string line in general, the concept of being able to pull a straight line and what that does for us. This is thousands of years old technology, but it's super important to tame it, master it. Let's start first with talking about colors. For those of you who are colorblind, that is rough. For those of you who are not, you should know that blue is probably the most common and it is the least permanent. On a scale of 0 to 4, it's 1 for permanency. So it washes off, wipes off, comes out of clothes. Red, not so much. That would be a 3 out of 4. It will not wash away and it does not come out of clothes either. So this is your fair warning that if you're using red chalk, don't be upwind or downwind of it when you spool it out. You'll see that the chalk comes out of here and creates a dust. And if you're downwind, it blows onto you and now, or it just touched my shirt and now it's on there. It's permanent, okay? So fair warning, make sure that you know what you're using before you grab it. And if you're gonna get dirty, you probably wanna use blue. What are we gonna use in here? For the circular saw rip cut, we'll use blue. We don't need to use red. We don't need that degree of permanence, so we'll start with this. I do want to talk a little bit about chalk boxes because I'm a little neurotic and obsessive about quality. The Irwin and or this DeWalt, these are the $12 model, and honestly, there's nothing wrong with these. They work great, and I would recommend this over some of the other brands that have like a 3-to-1 rewind, so they've got a gearbox in here so the line winds up faster. Or they've got a push button center to release and then it spools up the line easier. I think that's a mess and joke too. Just buy the cheap one. But if you want to upgrade, go high society. Option number 1, the MD box, made in Francais. And I found these boxes, they're super lightweight. They are just easy to carry and they work really well. The line size is also a medium width line, so it's a little wider and thicker line, which helps for doing masonry applications where you need to see a bigger line, etc. We don't need a really fine line. If we do need a fine line, or if we want to go highest society, then we bring in the Tajima, which is made in Japan, and this one is about the nicest chalk line you can get. The Tajima Chalkrite 2. Unfortunately, they're not even really available in town anymore. I think you can still get them online. This does have a 3-to-1 rewind, so if you watch it, how fast this comes up, it rewinds really quickly. It's got a very fine, thin chalk line, which gives you a very exacting mark. And black, I don't know where it is on the scale of permanence, but it's cool, black chalk, and it's kind of unique. Other features here, you can lock this in so it can't turn, and then it becomes a plumb bob. And a plumb bob will give us a straight vertical point from somewhere above where we can hook it on, say a header, a door overhang, straight down, and we can run this down and it will point to us where straight vertical is. And that can be really handy using this as a plumb bob. All of these can be used as a plumb bob. They're usually designed to do that. You can see the end here is pointed as well, but the Tajima's got a little real lock. Okay, so let's go over how to use these. I'll put these guys back. In the case of circular saw, rip cut, we're looking to take 1.5 inches off. Let's just check both sides. I got 13 down here. I got 12 3/4 down here. Oh, did you see that? Zoom in. You using that quick zoom feature? So I'm 1/4 inch shorter, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to square this piece, or re-square it. I'm gonna go with the smaller of the two numbers, 12 3/4, and I'm gonna take 1.5 inches off of that, which would be 11 1/4. I'll mark that down here, 11 1/4, so I can see my mark. That is tough to see. I do have white on me, so I will mark over the top of that and circle it. There's my mark right there. And to be efficient, I might as well hook on, walk down to the other end, right? So with this, there is a hook that should lock into the edge of our material. And I want that line to split. Take a look at right over the top here. I want that line to split my mark right there. If you are working solo, always good to have a nail or two on you, trim nail here, that you can set into the piece right on the end and you don't have to worry about that falling off. That's the purpose of that open slot. It takes seconds to set a nail, and then you don't have to worry about that hook falling off. When you spool out this, come here, you hold it open face like this with the spool up so that that thing doesn't hit you in the hand. Do not let the line touch your surface until you are ready to snap it on the other end. Now I've got to do a little bit of fancy footwork here. I'm going to have to hold this up and measure my 11 1/4 and make a mark as well. Oh, that's tough. How do I do it without 3 hands? I might get away with that right there. 11 1/4. I'll circle that, and I'm going to pull through that line or snap through it. So look down the line right now, Sunder. That'll work, yeah. We don't want to let it go slack and touch off because it will make a mark. So I'm going to keep tension in it, and before I snap it, I'm going to pull it tight, tight. How tight? I would say probably 10 pounds of tension or better. Come down here, and then I'm going to pin it right down through my mark. Lock it in, set this down, and now I've got to go usually bare fingers, pick this up, straight up and down, go look down from the end. So I don't want to go this way with it. I don't want to go this way with it. Pick it straight up and down, snap it. I can move that, make sure I've got a mark. Reel this up, and we can lock this in place if we want for whatever reason. That also acts as a plumb bob. That's how that works, just so you know. Otherwise, reel this up. Just some other basics here on filling it. There's a slider, and you would fill this with blue chalk. In this case, because it's blue, it actually almost acts like a liquid. This powder does. It's pretty cool. We're down to the end of this one. Tapping it to get it to settle down into the bottom. Good. Close up my slider door. Make sure it latches. Okay, so that's probably what we need to know. Colors, how to stretch a chalk line and snap it, and I think that's it. See.